So these three, guarding the sense doors, eat in moderation, and committed to wakefulness. Actually, these are very simple three things. Yeah, in normal daily life, three things, especially as a practitioner, guarding our six senses or being mindful of our six senses. That's the first one. The second one is eat in moderation. Not to so greedily attached to the food, because if you have too much food, or if you have no food, that is also both affect to our practice. So nowadays, I think biggest problem is not no food; it's too much food. So eat just to survive. So later it describe more. And the third one is committed to wakefulness. In other words, not always sleeping. So you can see that these things, especially the eat in moderation, committed to wakefulness, mostly, if somebody really committed to the practice, these two things easily disturb. Those people who are doing meditation, and especially they are totally committed to that practice. The one thing that they disturb is sleepiness, because they don't do much work. So then with their sleepiness is overwhelm them. And also, yeah, lazy, become lazy. And eating, these two interrelated, right? We eat and then sleep, feel sleepy. And after sleeping, you sleep, and then you wake up, again you feel hungry. You eat, sleep. This also another cycle that affect to our, especially when we are committed, especially you are in a meditation retreat or in a such the committed practice. These two things can adversely affect. That's why Buddha especially mentioned here not to get attached to the food, and also not attached to sleepiness. That another way, be active, not to be lazy, and eat in moderation. An important thing is the first one is guarding your six sense doors. Before we go to the more detail of this one, I want to remind you again that if when we read the suttas, especially the suttas that instruct us to do the practice, certain practices, we have to be aware about our basic understanding. I mean, our right view. Again, we have to aware that our right view. So, if Buddha asks us how to do the ending of defilement, when we start to practice ending of our defilement, ending our mental habits, we need to have a good perspective, good understanding about the Dhamma. Otherwise, what happens? You practice in a wrong way. It's most likely you read the suttas and you read the suttas from the conventional point of view. Means that I am here, the world is out there, and it is my dealing with myself and the world. And then they try to enlighten a person. I'm going to make enlighten me, make me enlightened. So a person an individual cannot enlighten. A person cannot, you keep your personal personhood and try to enlighten, it's not possible. The enlightenment is not belongs to you. The enlightenment also is not belongs to one person. It's not self. It is also non-self. Sabbhe Dhamma anattati. Dhamma means including Nibbana. It's not some a personal achievement. So we need to understand this anicca, dukkha, anatta in order to practice. Otherwise, we practice something permanent in impermanent world. We practice some, we finding something happiness. We're trying to find happiness in the world that is led by the suffering. And we try to find something for me, something, a self, which there is no self. So we shouldn't go against the basic characteristic of the world, anicca, dukkha, anatta. So our practice should align with the anicca, dukkha, and anatta. This is very important practice. Otherwise, in right view, we understand the world is anicca, dukkha, anatta, and Four Noble Truth. But when it comes to practice, we forget that and they try to do something as an individual. This is a kind of tricky point, kind of a misleading point, so we have to be very careful about it. And so last few weeks we have been talking, especially this Samyutta, 35th Samyutta is Salayatana Samyutta. In that Salayatana Samyutta, all the suttas talking about 6 sense bases. Here also talking about the sense doors. So we have to understand that these 6 senses, uh, its 6 senses are impermanent. 6 senses are impermanent. Again, it's not talking about this eye is impermanent. Of course, we know that after some time this eye will be impermanent. So impermanent means that every moment it is appearing and disappearing. So let's say if it is this eye is appearing and disappearing every moment. And you experience the 6 senses only and now. So you have only one moment, and in that moment the 6 senses, it's not all 6 senses appear in one moment. So one sense appear and disappear. In appearance it disappear, in disappearance it appear. So appearance and disappearance happen at the same time, because you have only one moment. So in that one moment, it appear and disappear. Because these 6 senses are our experience. From this experience, we create the world. I create the me and the world. We do something impossible. Mean that our 6 senses appear, only one appear at one time, and it appear and disappear at the same time. And from that, how can I create a world and the me, the two sides? But we create. That's what in the Putta Buddha says, you never seen anything, but you still have craving for what you have seen. You never seen it. You actually never seen it, but you have craving or desire for that. Something happened, unexplainable things happen here, isn't it? So how this happen is because you always have only one moment, but we remember immediate past, and you remember all the past which is dead and gone, and you collect all the information and make a one story from the past. You know, the when we make of you know, when there is a let's say the whole stick, the fireball, when we make it round, let's say the joystick, if you make it right like this round, a joystick, you can see a one round. So this round is never have a round, right? But it appears as a round. How come it happened? There's no fire round, but it seems there is a fire round. So this moment, it cannot be, but we can see the chairs, we can see the computers, we can see this one, we can see the people, but it is impossible thing. In the same way that you see a round when there is only one dot. That dot is always is appearing and disappearing in this everywhere in the round, but it seems like always there is a round. Why? Because our mind take immediate past. When it here, also remember, here also remember, this also remember, this also remember, here. We remember all the dots, and we configure it as a one round. And it remember, and if it forget to see when it is here, he forget that here don't have. When it here, he forget here don't have. It's like in a clockwise, when it is in the 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 doesn't have. When it is come the point of 1, 12 doesn't have. When it comes to the 2, 1 is gone. 1 in the past and the future is gone. I mean, it's future not yet, and the past is gone. So it is not there, but we remember it and thinking it is there because of it is speed. So we have to understand this illusion of our seeing. Even though we see, actually we are not seeing this particular thing. We are in a way conceiving. Last week we talked one sutta. We are conceiving. Conceiving, we create the idea from the past, but past is not here. So every time we create the idea, the conceiving idea is not the truth. We think it is here, but it is not here. And this conceiving is happen in the mental level. So we have to understand that whatever we see is a conceiving. Whatever I hear is a conceiving or conceptualized things. Whatever I taste, whatever I smell, whatever I sense, whatever I think, all these six senses, mental level fabrication, mental fabrication. This understanding must have always, must be back of our mind always. Means that we have to have the proper understanding about how this world is appear in front of me in this way. Otherwise, if we believe what our mind says, then we think that I am here, the world is out there, I am seeing the world, I am hearing the sound, I am hearing I'm tasting the taste, I am smelling the odor, I am feeling the tactile sensation, and I am thinking. So this wrong view we need to abandon, and we need to establish in right view in order to start the practice. So keep in that mind, we shall read the sutta.
And how does a mendicant guard the sense doors? When a mendicant sees a sight with their eyes, they don't get caught up in the features and details. If the faculty of sight were left unrestrained, bad, unskillful qualities of covetousness and displeasure would become overwhelming. For this reason, they practice restraint, protecting the faculty of sight and achieving its restraint. When they hear a sound with their ears,
It's same
goes to the stock. Do I read out one thing?
Okay, we read this one again. We explain this one. Okay, so in this sutta, Buddha asks us to do three things. The first thing is quite, something you really need to be fully understand. It's quite lengthy. It has six senses to guard. The first sense start with the sight. When a mendicant, here mendicant means anybody who are practicing in this path, sees sight with their eyes. They don't get caught up in the features and details. If the faculty of sight were left unrestrained, bad, unskillful qualities of covetousness and displeasure would become overwhelming. For this reason, they practice restraint, protecting the faculty of sight and achieving this restraint. I want to know what is this covetousness, the Pali words. Let me see it. Avijja. Okay. Is the word avijja? This process. Okay. When they to become aware, they practice restraint, cover the Chakra, Samhita, Vedanta, Abhijja, Domas. Okay, avijja. Okay. Okay, so how to restrain our this eye? This morning also we talked about this one. Uh, when we see something, how to protect our eyes, not to develop unskilled qualities of covetousness and displeasure. Mean that how I protect my eyes not to create suffering, not to create suffering, not to create something. Because if I create something, then it become overwhelming. Covetousness and displeasure with suffering would become overwhelming. For this reason, they practice restraint, practicing faculty of sight and achieving this restraint. So, this practice was very common in northern Indian religion. There was three religion in the Buddha's time: the Jainism and the Hinduism, and there was many other practices as well. Especially these Hinduism and Jainism, very it is looks like similar to the Buddhism, and most of the time in historically the Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist teaching was in a way misguided with this China teaching and Hindu teaching. That is why our current Buddhism, especially Theravada Buddhism, seems like is away from the Buddha's original teaching. Because why they do not understand, the reason is they do not really understand what is the anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Because those religious, and the Buddha's time, those Jainism and Hinduism, they believe that there is a Atma, there is someone behind all these things. There is someone and going from the life to life. And there is a permanent self. When there is a permanent self, inevitable thing is that it is not, the things are not impermanent. It becomes permanent. Because something permanent here. If there is no something permanent here, then you cannot have something with the self. So, because of this problem, it seems similar, but it's not similar. So, when the Buddha's teaching read through the lens of Jainism or Hinduism, we finally end up nothing. Our samsara, we cannot stop. You see here, it says that mendicants sees sight with the eyes, they don't get caught up in the features and details. When we read this one in a normal way, it seems like they don't caught up in the features and let's say when I see this cup, I'm not caught up in the details of the cup or the features of the cup. Can you find any meaning here? It is, let's say you don't look at the features or details of the cup. let's say you don't look at the features and details. Is that meaning? Hmm? So it cannot be that meaning, right? Something more deeper meaning. So here, when mendicants see a sight with their eyes, they don't get caught up with the features and details. I show you this to you, and what you understand is one thing. I show this one to a small child, a newborn child, what he understands. Is it saying what child see and what you see? Child, does the child see the features and detail of this cup? Maybe, of course, he sees the more refined. His eyes is very sharp. He sees, but here details mean he cannot create a story out of this one. Details mean when you see this one, you have compare this cup with all other cup you have seen in the world, and also you also create a conceptualization this as a cup. But the child, does he see a cup? When I show this on the child, is he seeing a cup? Does he have even the object? Okay, I'm seeing now object. Does actually object also, he must have idea. Okay, there is object in this world. The newborn child, he doesn't have that also. It is blind see. It's like a blind see. So he don't caught up. He not caught up. He cannot figure out its features or details. He cannot actually, because the details and features are not yet developed in his mind. But when you see this one, you have all the features and details. I don't know if these features and details are the right word, but anyhow, you have to get the idea that you are conceptualizing, you are creating a very, very long story out of this one. This is an expensive cup. This is not expensive cup. This is an ugly cup. This is a beautiful cup. And this is the cup I have at home also. This cup in SJB for a long time. And this cup is good for a monk. You like that. This is not very visible, but back of your mind, there is long story is created right away, and you believe that all these stories coming from this cup. You think that description is about this cup. That description is coming from this cup. But actually, even this cup created in the mind, because the child doesn't have a cup. You create the cup and you give so details to the cup. And we forget that I am the one who create all these details. When you forget and when you are not seeing this process is happening here, because this one happened now only. It's not something happened in the past. That happened now. All the details coming now. You're not seeing it and you forget about all these details you created. So then what happened? If somebody restrain the guard, if they guard the senses, they don't get caught up with the features and details. If the faculty of sight, let's say, if the faculty of sight were left unrestrained, if you don't have this understanding, if you are not mindful about this process, you thinking this cup is outside of me and this cup is something real. This cup is a solid. This cup is has a story, and all these things I know about this cup is coming from outside, and it is about the cup. So I caught up with the cup, the details and features of the cup. So then either I like it, either I don't like it, either I have a neutral feeling. Whatever feeling you have, you already caught up. Sometimes we think that when I don't have liking or disliking, when I have upekha, I am free. No, you are not free as long as you have ignorance. Because you are not seeing how this cup is formed, come to be. And you never see this cup is disappear. In appearance, it disappears. You're not seeing it. You haven't seen it, and you are not seeing it now. In order to see it now, you should be either you have right view. You establish in right view means that you have seen it. Once you see it, you are not get deceived again and again. Once you see it, then you know it. So, but here, these suttas actually is instruction for those who have established in right view. So, they have already seen this process, how this eye is, how this cup is appear and disappear. Like we have seen that when we see that fire round, when it is when that speed is slower, I have seen in one time it is just one dot. Once you have seen it's a one dot. So now we again make it faster. Then again the round appear. So that time you are not deceiving. You know it's appear, but you know it is not there, isn't it? But let's say if this happens, when you born into this world, that fire round was round is happening very fast. It's rotating very fast. When you born means that very first day also it was a one round, and then after 40-50 years you have seen it continuously, it is rotating, and you have seen the round, one big round for 40 years. And then suddenly, you was told by someone, this is not a round. There is only one dot here. Do you believe that? Do you understand what I say? You know, then there is a fire round, you know, like this. It's rotating actually, like this. Something, one dot of fire is rotating. So when you come into this world, the very first day also it's rotating. The second day also rotating, like this 40 years it is rotating. So from the very beginning until today, you seen it, you only seen it, you not go near to it and not stop it, and you don't know about it, you have only seen it. The 40 years you seen it, there is a round. And now somebody says, there is no round there, there's no fire round, it's only one dot. You cannot believe it. Let's say that dot itself, that fire round itself, talking. He say, hey friend, I'm not a round, I'm just a dot only. That you see is as a round. Even that fire round speed also you don't believe. How can you say like that? There is a round, very clearly see, can see. Then, then it said, friend, you also are like this fire round. You look yourself, also you see a round. Now, this one round talking to another round. And this round says, friend, even though you seems like a round, there is no round. It is a one dot only. And this round says, how can you say I'm a round? You can see, I can see very clear it's a round. And I can see you also round. And because it is appear as a round. But how to see this one? So by eyes, by looking eyes, these eyes, you never ever able to understand this one. This one need something beyond your eyes. That's what we call, Buddha says, a panya. You need to understand this by the wisdom. By the wisdom. So Buddha says, it cannot be a round. It is just a dot. And Buddha asks us to how to see it. It is not dot. So with the right view, you realize there is no round, no one round, it's just only one dot. This is what we have discussed earlier. What we are seeing is just one dot of now. In this moment, we see only one dot of now. Because past is gone. It cannot be here. And future not yet arrived. It cannot be here. So here there's only one dot. That one moment. In that moment, you cannot find a round in something, because you take all the previous, it normally take immediate past, and also that immediate past also have all the past experience. Based on past experience, you conceptualize in the mind there is something. Okay. With this understanding, now I again see a cup. Now you see a glass cup, you see a diamond cup, you see a gold cup. Are you caught up in the detail of the cup? Once you understand this one? Because you know that it is diamond, it is gold, it has nothing to do with this one. Details are mind-made, created story only. It doesn't have inherent something now. If you not mindful about this, if you are not aware about this, mean if your faculty of sight were left unrestrained, then bad skillful qualities, your lobha or your dvesha, your attachment will develop with the covetousness and displeasure, and it would become overwhelming. Once it develops, it overwhelming. For this reason, they practice restraint, protecting the faculty of sight, and achieving it is restraint. Now, here we have to understand that it is not talking about we close our eyes or we are not seeing, we're not seeing the features or details. The problem here is you shouldn't be caught up in the features and details. It is not that you shouldn't see features and details. If you're not seeing, it's not possible. Even you're not seeing also, you have all these features and details in your mind. Whether you see it or not seeing also doesn't make any difference, because at any moment, if it has come to you in front of you, you again caught up. So, how to restrain? Restrain is first and foremost thing is understand what is your chakkaya, what your eye is doing, how your eye is create the world immediately now in the mind, in the conscious level. So you need this right understanding about your six sense bases. With that understanding, you mindful about how this is happening. So when you're mindful, you are liking or disliking your way, you are not caught in the process of creation of the mental object, or mean otherwise the sanskara. You are not caught up in the sanskara, so that of course you are not caught up in the sanskara as well. So here is all about being mindful and with the right understanding about your six senses. Be mindful. That is the way how to restrain your sight, restrain your eyes, not the going away or rejecting the seeing, not the rejecting the seeing, but be mindful about what I am seeing. So that is how you guard your sight or your six sense doors. The first one is eye or in the sight. Okay, the second one is when they hear sound with the ears, they don't get caught up in the features and details. If the faculty of sight were left out, the faculty of sound were left unrestrained, bad skillful qualities of covetousness, displeasure would become overwhelming. For this reason, they practice restraint, practicing the faculty of hearing and achieving this restraint. The same goes when it is smelling, when we tasting and feeling of the touch of the body. And yeah, you can read this from this here.
When they know an idea with their mind, They don't get caught up in the features and details. If the faculty of mind were left unrestrained, bad, unskillful qualities of covetousness and displeasure would become overwhelming. For this reason, they practice restraint, protecting the faculty of mind and achieving its restraint.
Okay, so same goes to the mind as well, because mind also have ideas. The idea seems like is real. Again, you caught up and the detail of your idea. Because idea also have the features and details, means that this idea is developed. You can see that idea is developing. Any idea come to your mind, any thought you come to your mind about something. So you can develop it. When you think more and more, you can see that it is developing the story more and more. Let's say you think about something, your future plans. The more and more you think, more and more details is coming up. So you think that it is something real, that something really is there, that whole the idea, and then you quote up with it is beautiful, maybe it's a beautiful or maybe ugly or whatever it is. You quote up with the details. Let's say if you're thinking about something unpleasant, then also the same thing it develops. So either way, you caught up with it is the details. You think it is real. You think it is something. You thinking something really existing. Because we even this is very obvious that when we think in something, it's just a thinking. Let's say I'm thinking about tomorrow something. I'm planning tomorrow. I'm going to Kale, and then I have a plan to do this and this and then and this and this. It definitely it's not something real. It's just a conceptualizing. It's a mind developing a story. And tomorrow you go to Kale, also again you experience it in a mind level. So this mind also again create a stories, a detailed stories, and says it is something out there, it is something real. It's not, you forget about how this is arising. It's just like when we're watching a TV, we are focusing on what is seen. We are focusing on the characters or the items in the history. That is caught up. But if you are focusing on the screen, then you know how these characters are appearing, isn't it? When if you are watching a cartoon, let's say a cartoon, one character is there and another character is there, and let's say Tom and Jerry. Tom is going behind the Jerry, or Jerry going behind the Tom. Either way, Tom going behind the Jerry. So Jerry is running, and Tom also running. You think that you create a story is he's running and going, here and there, everywhere. So you can make a whole story. But everything happened in this books. And at the point where one time it was Jerry and another time it was Tom. So everything happened in this screen. So but if you watching the Tom and Jerry, you already caught up. But if you're watching the screen, then there's nothing here. There's no Tom, there is no Jerry, there's no space, there's no place. Everything is just appear and disappear. So this sight, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, and thinking. Everything appear in one screen. That is your consciousness. And that consciousness is appear and disappear like this, like this, like this, like this. Or it's lasting only one moment. One moment is unconsumable small fraction of time. Actually, it's not. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be understand as a fraction of time. It's just where the cause and condition is there that arise and disappear. In appearance, it disappears. So whatever it is, appear in this consciousness: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking. It's just like, so being mindful is not being mindfulness of the Tom, and Tom is going here and there and going everywhere, and you are watching. That is, you already caught up. So being mindfulness is you aware about how this is a form, how this is happening. Means you are aware about the screen, aware about your screen. What is your screen? It's your consciousness. You are aware about this moment, because everything happened in the screen of this moment. So the screen is like this moment. Everything happened in this moment. So the screen is like this moment. The screen called this moment. And you can, if you see it, you can see, if you mindfully observe this, you can see that whole story is created in this way. You know how it is arising. And you know that it is arising and passing away. And then, of course, when you go more deeper and deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper, means that when you are watching again and again and again, when you are constantly be mindful, you can see that in the sea, it's just a sea, just like a child. He see, but he not seeing anything. He seeing, but he not seeing anything. He hear everything, but he hearing, he not hearing anything. He feel, but he not feel anything. He smell, he not feeling anything. He is not smelling anything. He is not tasting anything. He not thinking anything. Of course, he's not thinking. He basically five senses are appearing and disappearing. He just experienced that, but he don't create the world. But now we create the world, because we already in this process. We already caught up to this curse. How to free from this curse is be aware of this, and not to caught up, blindly caught up in what it showed you, because you know it is whatever is created, it is not here in this moment. It is never here, and it is not here, and it will not be in the future as well. So what is the biggest one? The concept of I. I am here. I am here. In the last week we discussed, I am here. I am. Or I am not. Both are mental construct or conceiving. Because of you are here, you have all other problems come. But you are not here. But it seems you are here. It is like that fire round. one fire round, telling to the other fire round, you are not here. But it's very difficult to accept. But that is the truth. You are not here. And you never was here. And you will never be here. The whole struggle is futile. So that's why Buddha asked us to stop this struggle. Even struggle to be enlightened also futile. Because you already enlightened. There is nothing to enlighten here. Because there is no one to enlighten. So, but you need to, one thing is understanding, and you have to see it. And what you understand, what you have seen, based on that, you have to live in accordance what you have seen, what you have understand. Then your own mental habits, because just because of you see this one again creating and again try to deceive you, because previous mental habits continue. So previous mental habit, one by one by one by one, we can catch by repeated observation. And your own mental habits come under your control. So it's not anymore a compulsive mental habits, or it's not anymore a defined one. You are fully under, you have fully control of your mind. If you want, you can create. If you don't want, you cannot create. Even you create, you know it is just a creation. And if you not create also, it doesn't matter. You can choose completely not create it. You can choose completely create it more than other people and more than those who are not understanding. But because you free from these all, you free from this quota. Your avijja is the one dissolved. Your avijja is the one dissolved. When your avijja is dissolved, mental creation is dissolved. When you free from mental creation, sanskara, your vijnana is ceased. When vijnana is ceased, your nama rupa cease. When the nama rupa cease, salayatana cease, phassa cease. When the phassa is ceased, phassa vedana, vedana paccaya tanha paccaya bhava, bhava paccaya jati jara mara sota parite dukkha domanassa payasa. All samsara stop. Stop not after your death, and while you are living, everything is stopped. While you are living, everything is stopped. After that, you don't have sixth sense. You see the illusion of sixth sense. Then how you live? You live not with six senses. You live in a separate sense. Normally, Buddha didn't say that, but some people say it's a seventh sense. Means all six senses come together and make one sense, that is six, seven sense. But Buddha says something like that in this sutta. Showing this sutta. Unbinding. He described about this. He says, sure. Stop sharing. Then Yeah, in that Buddha says, this is the Buddha explained to the monk. There is that dimension. Actually, here mentioned this dimension. It says, Atthibhikkhave Tadayatana. Atti means there is Bhikkhave monks. Tad ayatana. Ayatana, we have six salayatana, six sense. Ayatana means six senses. So Atthibhikkhave Tadayatana. There is another dimension, means another sense where there is no earth, no water, no fire, no wind, no neither dimension of infinite of space, no dimension of infinitude of consciousness, no dimension of nothingness, no dimension of neither perception and non-perception, neither this world. So this world it doesn't exist. Next world doesn't exist. No sun, no moon, no there. There, I say there is neither coming, there is no one coming, there is no one going, no staying, no staying also, neither passing away, no arising, unestablished, unevolving, without support. This just, you see that? This just this just this, and is the end of stress. Actually, it doesn't have a name, which is called Nibbana, dimension of the Nibbana. Because all these experiences, six experiences, come out of nothing and it immediately goes to the nothingness. Another moment come out of nothing, immediately goes to the nothingness. Next moment, come out of the nothing, goes to the nothing. All the things, everything in this world means these six senses come from the nothingness, goes to the nothingness. Come from the nothingness, goes to the nothingness. So, whether you understand this one or not, this is happening in this way. Whether you enlighten or not, you experiencing exactly same like any other Buddha. What is different is Buddha or enlightened being, they have realized what is happening and others are yet to realize what is happening. But always, from the past to now, in the future, and forever, it is happening the same. Okay, so I think the sutta is nothing much to share. So this one. Okay, maybe the last one.
Continue, yeah? Okay.
Hmm.
Suppose a chariot stood harnessed to thoroughbreds at the level crossroads, with a god ready, a deft horse trainer and a master charioteer might mount the chariot, taking the reins in his right hand and God in the left. He'd drive out and back wherever he wishes, whenever he wishes. Something? Okay, please move. Okay. In the same way, mendicant trains to protect, control, tame, and pacify these six senses. That's how a mendicant guards the sense doors. And how does a mendicant eat in moderation?
Okay, I do this some just mental the similar career. You know, in chariot, there is a horse and there is the behind part, and the well-trained horse rider, he using the thing, he used this horse to go anywhere and come back. He can go anywhere, anywhere in the world. Anywhere he can go exactly where he want to go, and he can come back exactly where he want to come back because he is a well-trained horse rider. This horse is like our six senses. If you are not trained, if you are not restrained, if you are not well versed of your six sense doors, what happens is this horse is very, very highly capable, but you don't have any control over the horse, and horse go in wherever he wishes to go. It is not, it's not going where you want to go. So you don't have any control. You don't know where you will end up. And of course, you cannot come back also because you don't have control. So if you don't have control over your six senses, it will end up, you know, you always suffering, always samsara, you know, all this samsaric suffering, all this lower, dvesha, moha, and your karma is creating again and again and again. And that's your samsara is continuing. Because this horse always want to go where it want to go. But this horse rider is capable, smart enough to use that horse. You can use that horse. You have to use that horse. You have to use the six senses for to do what you want to do. You don't want to get suffering out of these six senses, but you can use it for your happiness. If you use your six senses wisely, definitely it leads to the happiness. Because you need your ear, this sense, in order to understand the Dhamma also. Because this Dhamma also again created the story using these six senses. So you can use it for your happiness. Just like a well-trained horse rider, how he used the horse to go where he want to go and where he want to come back. So that's why this is the whole simile of chariot. It is like we're using a horse chariot with the well-trained horse rider or horse trainer. Yeah. No, not mine. Chariot is you. Hmm? Yeah, but yeah, you can control your six senses, right? Or you can go according to six senses also. Like, you see something, you go and buy, you like it or you dislike it. You like to eat something and you just driven with the desires of six senses because we like to see different things. We like to see the beautiful things. We like to hear beautiful sound. We like to hear all the beautiful things, and we don't want to get all these the unpleasant things. But these things come into our life, pleasant thing, unpleasant thing. All the time you was dragged by your pleasant experience and unpleasant experience. That is the suffering. If you are not if you don't have control, you always have to run here, run there, run here. You are driven by your emotion, your attachment. So here, the horse is sixth sense, but you ask who is the horse rider? It can say you, but not the you think. It is something, because that's why when we use the simile, you cannot take everything of the simile. Then you might ask, then what is the wheel of the carriage? What is the other part of the carrier? So you have to take only that what it's me, that we have to carefully take the simile. Simile is not the Dhamma. Simile is to show you something, that concept. So don't go more details of the simile. We have to go detail of the what is explaining, not the simile. If you uh, take the simile so seriously, you forget what is explaining.
Can we say that it's the mindfulness that controls the senses?
Yeah, mindfulness is it is more safer to say mindfulness, but but if you think that, then what is mindfulness then? Its mindfulness is something permanent. Mm, yeah, so, but it's safe to say it's like awareness or mindfulness is the one who right. That's why that if you ask who is that, or maybe better to ask what is that? What is means that is awareness that control these six senses, this force, awareness. Yeah. Okay, we continue reading because there are two things.
Yeah. So how does a mendicant eat in moderation? It's when a mendicant reflects rationally on the food that they eat, not for fun, indulgence, adornment, or decoration, but only to sustain this body, to avoid harm, and to support spiritual practice. In this way, I shall put an end to all discomfort and not give rise to new discomfort, and I will have the means to keep going, blamelessness, and a comfortable abiding. It's like a person who puts ointment on the wound only so that it can heal, or who oils an axle only so that it can carry a load.
Yeah, that's a good example. Continue.
In the same way, a mendicant reflects rationally on the food that they eat. Oh, this is, that's same thing. Yeah, okay. That's how a mendicant eats in moderation. And how a mendicant committed to wakefulness. It's when a mendicant practices walking and sitting meditation by day, purifying their mind from obstacles. In the first watch of the night, they continue to practice walking and sitting meditation. In the middle watch, they lie down in the lion's posture on the right side, placing one foot on top of the other, mindful and aware, and focused on the time of getting up. In the last watch, they get up and continue to practice walking and sitting meditation, purifying their mind from obstacles.
Yeah.
This is how a mendicant is committed to wakefulness. When a mendicant has these three qualities, that they are full of joy and happiness in this very life, and they have laid the groundwork for ending the defilements.
Okay. So here is the groundwork, the very rooted groundwork is being aware of your six senses, being aware of your six senses, rather than, I think it's better to say that be aware or be mindful about your six senses and moderation of eating and moderation on in sleeping. Moderation in sleeping, especially not to sleep in daytime and sleep only what is required for your body. Maybe even nowadays it says that 8 hours, but actually if you are not very hard working person, it is 5 hours or something is very enough for us to sleep. Yeah, so that here they are mentioned how to sleep, like a lion, put your legs one on top of the other. These are not very important. If you can sleep like that, it's good. Because these are the Northern Indian practice that time. Time, but it's not necessarily how you sleep. But this thing also sometimes important because these postures are healthy postures, especially with the sleep on to your right side, because this side your heart. So if this side heart is pressing, so if you when you sleep the left right side, with that it's kind of a healthy way to sleep, and also it's like more, even though you sleep, it's like more a wakeful sleep like dignified sleeping. Yeah. So these things you can, and yeah, because sometimes if you are get used to certain posture, so trying to this way may be uncomfortable. So anyway, you sleep comfortably, but not to sleep too much. Not to sleep too much, especially not to sleep in daytime, and not to sleep too much in the nighttime also, and wake up in the early morning. Wake up in the early morning, because all these are healthy way and also spiritually enriching. When you wake up early morning, mm, when you wake up around before 4, it also stimulate your wisdom with all this energy system with the sun, setting and sun rising. All this also affecting our physical body. So you can sleep like that. You can wake up early, sleep little, wake up early, and eat little as much as, because when you eat too much, of course you have a lot of sicknesses, cholesterol and all other diabetics and all these things. So eat little and sleep less, because you are not doing a lot of hard work. And those who are doing hard work, maybe this is different. So this is, I think, basically for those who are practicing full time. So in this way, eat less and sleep less. But in a normal day-to-day life, if somebody hardworking, maybe eat a little bit different. Maybe they have to sleep 8 hours, or maybe they have to eat 3 meals a day, like that. But the most important thing is you restrain your senses. You are mindful about your six senses. You are aware of your six senses. That you are continuously being aware, whether you are work, do any work, it doesn't matter. You still can be aware about your six senses throughout the day. So in this way, our defilement, our mental habits, mental tendencies, even underlying mental tendencies, is dissolving, and it dissolves with awareness. When it is not that subsiding or suppressing our defilement, but with awareness, we fully aware about it and fully understand. With awareness, it's naturally subsiding all the mental tendencies, underlying mental tendencies, and your mental habits in day-to-day life, so that you enjoy, you experiencing more joy and happiness in this very life. They have laid ground, so because you have laid groundwork for ending all the define. Yeah. Yeah, this is the sutta. Is there any questions from the online?
Brothers and sisters, if you have any question, you can type it on the chat box. Brothers and sisters here, you have any questions?
Hi, good evening, Bante.
Good evening.
Bante, I have a question regarding seven sense. So I would like Bante to describe more about that.
It's seven sense actually is a nibbana. Seven senses nibbana. Those attain fully enlightenment. Those are arahants and buddhas. They live with that sense. Actually, even though I talk about it, you never ever able to understand it, because you can experience your sixth sense, you can experience your eye, your ear, your nose or tongue or sense experience. But even though, how can I explain to you something you never experienced? Isn't it? So, but as mentioned in this sutta, in that dimension, in that sense, there is no solidness. In that, now we feel the solidness, right? We think it's a solid, the world is solid. Those who are using six senses, they think the world is solid. This is solid. We think this is solid. We don't know it is we thinking solid. We thinking the solid. This is not solid. We think it is solid. For example, this one, solid or not? Solid, right? How do you know it is solid? Yeah, it is. Is you thinking it's solid, right? Isn't it? Otherwise, you didn't touch this one. So every time we will be thinking it is solid. We thinking the watering, we thinking the heat, and we thinking the space, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, and the wind and space. We think it is. We think it is. So, but those who living with that seven sense, or in the Nibbana, or those who attain complete Nibbana, they know something more than this six sense. So that is the nature of the Nibbana, as as we saw in that sutta. That there is this dimension. There's no earth, no water, no fire, no wind, no all kind of dimension, all kind of experiences, consciousness or nothingness. Even nothingness also not there. Or perception or not perception also not there. There's no sun, there's no moon. There is no coming, no going, there's no staying, no passing away, not arising, not established, unevolving without support. That is just that in the whole suffering. It just get idea that there is that kind of dimension that we can experience one day, but don't try to figure it out, because it's impossible to figure it out, because it's beyond our sixth sense, because we can. So you can experience it when you completely understand your six senses. When you completely understand the six senses, and when you're completely free from quota of this six sense basis, then you can experience this. It's an experience rather than description understand the description. It's just that. There's no words to say that. Just that.
Thank you, Bante. Bante, there is one comment in the chat box. It says that the sense faculties are just vehicle like chariot in the simile, but they need restraint and mindfulness as the guide. Bante, would you like to comment on this?
Just that.
From Sister Laisan, the sense faculties are just vehicle like chariot in the simile, but they need restraint and mindfulness as the guide.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, that is that's what the sutta is saying. These six senses are like chariot. You can use it for your convenience, but don't let it to use you. You use it, but don't let it use you. Everything in other things in our life also. We have everything here in this life is to use for our convenience, but don't let them to use you, because money is for your convenience to use. You can use that money, but don't let your money to handle you. Don't let your property to handle you. Don't let your cars to handle you, influence you, to take away your happiness or your, don't let it decide your happiness or suffering. Don't let other people to make you suffering or happiness. Don't let any external things to make you happy or unhappy. Don't be influenced by external condition. Because if you are not mindful, definitely it will take what you see. Because what you see means maybe you see your family members. You can attach to your family members. Yeah, that's right. This is an understanding. This is a subtle understanding about our six sense spaces, or what is reality. What is reality? Reality is made from these six sense spaces. And how this reality is made? From something illusion. Everything, this, especially this one made from illusion, not a real. Just the same way like that fireball is visible, but actually there is no fireball. This body, this sun and moon, the entire universe, galaxies, all are illusionary made by the mind. And we can use the mind for our convenience for this life to live and also to understand the Dhamma, and after that to live happily. But don't let those chariots, means those six senses, to control you. It's very subtle, because you think your mind is you. When your mind asking you to go and see something, you blindly follow your mind. You become like a slave. When you stay without doing nothing, it asking you to see something, do something, hear something, feel something, taste something. You didn't eat so long, you go Penang and eat the laksa. And says like that. And then you say, oh, maybe yes, oh, I feel like going. Maybe I feel it. Actually, it's not you feel, it's your mind create this one. And your mind says, do something for the society, do something for the to the world, you otherwise you have become like a just nothing, you are a useless person, you are a wasteful person. You do something because actually the mind wanted to be glorified himself. He want to show up. I did something. I should be great. Do something. At least he said, do Dhamma talk. Otherwise, you give charity and make sure the others are watching. Otherwise, not, you cannot glorify your ego. So these six senses, including mind, controlling you and losing your happiness. You see that every time you do as a blindly, just because of this drive to satisfy these six senses, you experience in suffering. You don't need the robot science to understand that. Anything you do to satisfy these six senses, you experience in suffering. You do not because it need to be done. You do it, or you do more than it need to be done to satisfy your ego. Ego means this sense of self. This sense of self is created by these six senses. So this is in a practical sense. Actually, you need to be aware about what your mind is projecting, what your mind is talking, that how it's showing the stories. So how mind can drag you is these six senses. Just see something beautiful. Avoid those unpleasant scenes and hear the beautiful thing. Don't hear unpleasant thing. Don't hear people are scolding you. So make sure everything. Make sure that people not scolding you. If you scolded, it is not good for you. So don't hear scolding sound. So do everything to make sure the people not scolding. So you do everything to make sure the people are not scolding and get praise. You hear a beautiful sound, the people are praising you. It's beautiful, nice to hear. You do everything what you can do to get that praise. So you, like a slave, you do everything to get praise. That is not you. That is your ego, mind, using these six senses. It asking you to eat pleasant one, avoid the bad one. If the food is bad, blame them. Make sure you got always pleasant one. That is how in a practical life it is the very different. Is very subtle. That day we understand that the bondage of the Mara is even subtler, right? Very subtle because it comes as you. Mara comes and pretend as you, saying, I feel, I think, this is my understanding. You can understand this one, this is like that. So Mara come. So this is very subtle, very subtle. So make sure that everything you see, you hear, you feel, you sense, you think, you taste, everything is just a mere illusion. And I know all these things how it's appearing. So it cannot make you a slave to get it is object. The eyes cannot make you a slave to just to satisfy it is object of seeing a pleasant object, pleasant hearing, like that. So when you are not become a slave, you come to the fully control of these six senses. You do whatever need to be done, whatever need to be done. When you free from yourself, naturally you are developing great compassion to the whole human, all sentient beings, including everything. So at that time, you know what to do. You know what need to be done, and you will do only what is need to be done, not because of your desire.
Thank you, Bante. Yeah, if there are no more questions, then we will end today's session, and we thank Bante for giving us this very good piece of advice from the Buddha's teaching, guarding our senses if we want to be out of suffering. So we practice our mindfulness and awareness to control our senses. Let us say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bante, may we request Bante for sharing of merits.
Sharing of this many soul viewers or the relatives. Akasatha ca Bummata Deva Naga Mahitika Punyantana Numuditva Chirang Rakantu Lokasasana Chirang Rakantu Desana Chirang Rakantu Mamparam Idam Minyatinam Hotu Sukhitam Tunyatayo Idam Minyatinam Hotu Sukhitam Tunyatayo Idam Minyatinam Hotu Sukhitam Tunyatayo Imina punya kammena mame bala samadamo satang samadamo tuya nibbana pattiya idam me punyam asavakkaya vaham hotu sabba dukkha pamuccatu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Budang Chemi, Dhammang Pujemi, Sanghang Pujemi. Thank you, Bante. Good night, Bante. Thank you, all friends, in Zoom also. Good night and
Good night.
good night and take care. Have a good rest. Be well
Good
and
night,
healthy.
everyone.
Also,
Good night, Bante.
Sister
Good
June
night,
reminds everyone, see you all on Saturday night for the opening of the 28 Buddha chanting.
And also we need to inform that next 2 weeks maybe we don't have this Sutta class, next 2 weeks. And especially next week we have a chanting of 28 Buddha Paritta. And we invite you all to come to the 28 Paritta chanting also, because that's also because we always complaining that we cannot understand this deep Dhamma. So that's also one reason that our paramitas, our merits are not yet up to that level. So we need to have an affinity. We need to have a spiritual connection with all these great spiritual beings and all the previous Buddhas. So when we chant and when we do those rituals to all the previous Buddhas, we create that positive changes within you, so that you connecting to the truth of this universe more easily. So with that understanding, you can come and participate at doing the chanting. And after 2 weeks, we start to discuss 5 aggregates, the Panchaskanda explanation in the Buddha's teaching. So after next 2 weeks, we will go to that area of the Buddha's teaching of the 5 aggregates. Yeah, after 2 weeks. So these 2 weeks, these good messages, we say good night to everyone.
Good night, all friends. Good
Good
night,
night,
Bante.
everyone. Good night,
Thank
Bante.
you, Bante.
Bye.
Thank you, Sister Uyi.
Thank you, Sister Kaho.